Good afternoon. It's the 12th of October. It's about 10 after 6 p.m. in the afternoon. This is the Streets and Sidewalks Committee. To my left is Councilman Brock Heath, and to my right is Councilwoman Lynn Snee. We're here to review McCaig Road, McCaig Avenue speed limit between Dorset Road and State Route 718. Mr. Titterington or Mrs. Rhodes, which one's going to lead our discussion?
I can start it, and then if you got the technical questions, and
Gotcha.
she'll have all the answers. The area of McCaig Road between Dorset Road and State Route 718 is an area that goes in and out of our corporate lines and through the county and the township back and forth 10 times. As a result, the speed limits vary from anywhere from 25 miles per hour to 55 miles per hour. Recognizing that that's a little confusing, virtually impossible to enforce speed limits out there, whether you're a sheriff or a Troy police officer, and it just isn't good transportation policy. We did talk to the county engineer. The county engineer completed a traffic study out there. And as a result of that, we would like to see the speed limit be 45 miles per hour at that stretch. Because it is a road that is regulated by the Ohio Department of Transportation, the state procedure is that we need to request through your action that the director of ODOT perform a study related to the speed limit in that area. And then hopefully accept our recommendation of 45 miles per hour. And so that is what we are asking you to recommend to council so that we can move this forward to the director of ODOT. And we are not requesting an emergency. Right?
Have any conversations been had with the state at this point? On this, enacting this procedure or any discussion? Yes. We have talked to ODOT, and ODOT's really just waiting for us to request it, and then it would be, my understanding is it would be approved, but we have to talk to ODOT District 7. So preliminarily, they would support the 45 number? Yes. Okay. I don't have any issues with this because I think the recommendation is appropriate. So, questions?
Just one question. As you come to the four-way stop then at Dorset and McCaig, you would be leaving, if you were traveling east, you would be leaving a 45 mile per hour stretch and immediately changing to the 25 mile per hour stretch?
Is that right there that it does that?
Yes.
Right in front of the barber shop?
And no, why is that 25 miles per hour, I guess is my question.
Yeah, it's a local street. It's because it's within the corporate boundaries, given the definition of local street and the traffic volume and such, 25 is the appropriate speed limit.
It's set by the ORC.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to remember.
No, they'll remind you.
Ish.
You better put
Police
it
will
in
remind you.
something.
Yeah, they have a certificate.
Oh, I've been reminded.
These blue lights. I think the Miami County Engineer's Office, they've done the study and they came up with the 45. Is that where we got that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so they're all on board and they're okay with us making a recommendation for them, or are they kind of jointly making a recommendation to the state? Or,
They're waiting on the city to make the recommendation to ODOT. It's part of the process.
okay.
I'm not, well, because we're the limiting factor actually, because the speed limit inside the city is 25, so we're requesting to raise that up to 45 where they're at 55. So at our request, we would be sending it to ODOT and the county, yeah, is okay with it.
And they would, because of our request, their 55 would get knocked down to 45, basically in their little portions,
Yep.
and they're fine.
And our 25 gets bumped up to 45?
Uh-huh.
Right in front of a school?
No, this is far.
For Christian, on the
Troy,
southern
right
bridge,
at
it'll
that,
be 25.
right when you go into Cheney's.
It's west of.
But you're not going to be at 45 leaving that stop sign. So you'll be past them before you're 45.
Yeah,
And
but
slowing down as you're coming.
out of the
Unless you're
county-
You better be slowing down.
If you're coming out of the county though, you're
Uh-huh.
coming over 75 at 45.
Actually, at that point, if you're coming out of the county over 75, you're in the county, your speed limit's actually 55 at this point.
Right, so it would be lowered to 45. But it
Uh-huh.
stays 45 till you hit that four-way stop?
Uh-huh.
So it's 45 right there where you turn into Cheney's or where you go into the...
It's actually
veterinary?
55 right now where you turn into Cheney's, yes.
it's
So it
actually
would be
lower.
45. So it's actually an improvement.
All the way to the
Yep.
four-way stop.
I feel like there's a sign there now saying 25, like
There
by
is
the
a sign right
Christian
now.
school.
There is a
So
sign
that'll-
at 75 saying 25 miles per hour
Okay.
ahead.
Ahead, so it's not necessarily there yet. Okay.
Yes,
Is
And
it
it-
reduced during school hours?
No.
unless it's a school zone, and I don't think
I don't
right
think
now
it's a
there's
school
a
zone.
So we
sign for
have
school
25
zone.
miles an hour on Adams Street and we're going to allow 45 by a school?
Yes.
But you don't have pedestrians at that point at that school.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have cars. All you have is vehicles
Okay.
by a parking lot.
I so do not agree with that, but okay.
It seems okay. Like my daughter goes to church Christian there, and I've got to come from west to east every day to drop her off, and I come over the bridge, and there's not a big concern. It works. I don't know.
No, and I think everybody would be slowing down for the stop sign. I mean, the stop sign's not going away, so the stop sign's pretty close to that.
Right. It seems like it would be bad because you're coming over this thing at 55 miles an hour, and then there's somebody turning into Troy Christian, and you have to slam. But I don't never seen it really happen. People start slowing down at the bridge.
Yeah.
Because there's a big, thing in the bridge. You wanna-
That's
Could
planned.
you?
what examples? No, you can.
Could you show us how
Show
that
us a video
looks?
later. I'm not doing it again. See an instant replay.
Have your kid hit.
Oh yeah, the kids love it. But yeah, this is gonna be an improvement to that anyway, because right now it's 55, so people are going 60 over that thing. So if there's a posted 45, that'll just improve what's happening already.
Yeah, that's our opinion and our recommendation.
Mr. Phillips.
Go ahead, Mr. Blythe. Yes.
Yeah, I support the 45, but it still begs the question of where do you enforce and who enforces? Is all of McKeag Road going to be enforceable by the Troy Police?
No, I don't believe they can enforce in the township. Now, the sheriff does have the authority to enforce in the community in Troy. But having one, if you're speeding over 45 miles an hour to an unsafe level,
Not me personally.
odds
I would
are
never
you're
do that.
going to be doing that both in the township and in the city at some point or another when you're passing through the 10 in and out points. 'Cause
But
the
it,
proper
but
boundaries
it would
change so
only, but Troy Police wouldn't be able to enforce anything, right? It would be up to
much.
the
Sure they
sheriff.
would. Yeah, sure they would.
If they get them in
If they can, if they observe them traveling 45 miles or higher than 45 miles, whatever the prima facie cushion is, and they see them cross our
Within that.
border, our corporate boundaries, odds are they're going to do that because there are 10 times that you either go in and out
Okay.
on that little stretch.
Okay, I still think we're going to rely on the sheriff to enforce this because
We may not, but what has been really difficult is when it's been from 55 to 25 and having to go to court and them saying, well,
Sure.
wait, what is the speed limit? I'm not sure where I'm at and, what
For the-
speed I'm supposed to be in.
for the safety of everybody, I support this 45 mile an hour thing. I'm just concerned as to, who actually is going to be able to enforce it. There's no sense in making a law if there's nobody that can consistently enforce it.
We do have a very positive relationship with the county sheriffs. We know will continue, and so like in everything else, we will work with them
Okay, great, thank
on
you.
this issue.
I think it's just going to be nice to have it posted because right now it's just nobody knows. There's literally no signs, and so I get asked a lot. My daughter just started driving, and she asked me what it was, and it's kind of like there's different sections depending on where you're at. So just to have it all consistent and actually a sign.
Yeah,
It's
and
gonna be a benefit.
that was one of our goals as well.
Yeah,
Good.
great idea.
Mr. Tremblay.
Yes, thank you. will we be able to keep that sign there on the west side that says 25 miles ahead?
We'll look
That
at
would
the-
just get people to
Yeah.
consider it.
We'll look at the placement of that and with respects to what the traffic manual says to see if, either we could relocate that in an appropriate spot if it needs to be closer to where the 25 is actually applicable, but that's a good idea.
And the other question I have is, when you did the study, did you put the devices out there to see how fast people are actually going? Is that part of the study?
They actually had somebody out there and then, they also had somebody,
What was the high and the low?
The average, the 85th percentile was 49 miles an hour. I'm not actually sure. I didn't necessarily look at the high and the low. I mean, so it'd probably be as low as 25, but 85th percentile
They were
was
pretty good.
49. Yeah,
for the most part.
To Mr. Twiss's point, that I would be traveling in that 85th percentile. Right at 45 would be where I was.
Which on a clear day with no snow and ice and good
Right.
conditions is perfect.
It wasn't a raceway out there. So. Any other questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none at this point, any other questions from?
Oh, I think this sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, then we shall proceed as staff has recommended.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other items come before the Streets and Sidewalk Committee?
Yes, sir.